In this video, I'm going to show you how to archive a project in Jira. But more importantly, I'm also going to answer the question, when should I delete a project versus when should I archive the project? Make sure you hit that subscribe button, drop a like, and this video is sponsored by Release Team. Check them out in the link down below. All right, so when do you archive versus when do you delete? Well, a lot of it's going to have to do with the version of Jira that you're paying for. And so if you are on the free or standard versions of Jira, then delete is the only thing you can do. So if you're on those two plans, delete is your only option. However, if you're on the premium or enterprise version of Jira, which I'm suspecting most of you are going to be on, then you can choose between archiving or deleting. So when do we delete versus when do we archive? Well, let's handle the delete first. When we want to regain possession of a project key, as in maybe we have this amazing key in this project and we just want that key. Or maybe we want the name of that project back, right? We want to give it to another project. Well, we have to delete those projects. And so you're going to want to watch the video on how to delete a project because the whole deletion process is its own thing. Now, keep in mind that once you permanently delete a project, that project is gone. All the work items are gone. All the data that was in that project is gone, but the key and the name are now reclaimable and you can reuse them for something else. But that's normally why we would want to delete it. This is a worst case doomsday. We want it completely gone. However, sometimes you don't have to go so extreme. And especially if you are on the premium or enterprise versions of Jira, then you do have the ability to archive. And I'm going to show you how to archive in this video. But first, let me tell you, why would you want to archive then? Well, archive removes the project from the list of available projects. It will hide it from all the users. It will even hide it to a certain degree from the admins. I'm going to show you what that looks like in a second. But it makes the project just kind of go to the side. It's not accessible by anybody but the Jira admins. And technically, the Jira admins can just go to the settings, but it makes it go away. However, you cannot reuse the key and you cannot reuse the project name because they're still inside of the Jira world. They're just kind of tucked away and hidden. But you would want to archive if there's ever a chance where A, you want to go into that project at some point, so you're going to want to restore it, or B, you still want that data to live in your environment. And so you can always restore those projects and be able to go and access that data again. So again, if you're on the premium or enterprise versions of Jira, you have this flexibility. But how exactly do we archive a project? Well, let me show you. It's pretty simple, and most videos out there show you how to do it incorrectly. So let me show you the right way. So inside of Jira, what you're going to want to do, especially because you have to be a Jira admin to do this, is you're going to want to click on the gear on the top right corner and then go to projects. Most videos will tell you to go over here on the left-hand side, click on projects, view all projects, and then do it from here. But the fundamental problem with this method is that this will only show you the projects that you have access to. And yeah, it blows my mind, but even as a Jira admin, you don't always have access to all the Jira projects. It all depends on your project permissions. So you cannot trust this method. So the proper way to do it is to click on the gear and go to projects. And as long as you're the administrator of Jira, you will see a list of all the projects, even if you can't access them. Because as an admin, you always have access to this actions menu button over here that's going to let you go into a project and then do something on the settings. So you might not be able to see the work items inside, but you can definitely configure the settings as an admin. All right, so the only thing we want to do then is we want to find our Jira project that we care to archive, and we're going to click on the action button on the far right, and then we're going to click on archive. And when you do that, this is going to archive the project, okay? And again, all of the work items, the Jira components, the attachments, the versions, all of that is preserved and put into basically like a read-only state, okay? Now, work items will be read-only and can still be accessed via a direct link. Archive projects won't appear in the directories and the work items won't appear in search. So keep in mind that if somebody has a URL, they'll still be able to go to it, even in an archive state, which is, again, very different than if you delete, because once you delete a project, it's gone forever. Now, finally, before we archive the project, just keep in mind that only Jira admins can restore the project. So we're going to click on the archive button, and that's going to archive our project. And then basically, as I mentioned, that just means that when you do go to the project list, you're not going to see it, right? Your end users aren't going to see it, and you as a Jira admin won't see it here either. However, there is an archive section over here on the far left. If you click into here, then you're going to be able to see the list of your archive projects, and then you can restore them. Now, another quick difference between deleting a project and archiving. When you delete a project, it will go to your trash and it will stay here for 60 days. After 60 days, whether you interact with it or not, it's going to be gone. It's going to delete itself after 60 days forever. However, in the archive, And these projects can be here for years, 2, 3, 10, 15, 20, however many years you want. They will always just stay in this archive state, never to be actually gone. So you can always come back here and restore it at any point, even on a project from like 10 years ago. So keep that in mind that in trash and delete it, you have 60 days, but in archive, you have years. And so that, my friends, is how you archive a project, and also a good walkthrough of what are the differences between archiving and deleting a project. If you found value out of this video, make sure you hit that subscribe button. We're trying to get to 100,000 subs. So do your part, hit that subscribe button. It's totally free for you. Hit that like button and share this with everybody that you know. And again, if you need any help, check out my buddies over at Release Team. I've partnered up with them to help you with your Jira problems. So check out the link down below and reach out to Release Team. Thanks, and I'll see you in the next one.